Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are diving deep into a topic that, let's be honest, affects all of us: financial scams. We're going to break down how they work, how to build up your defenses, and exactly what to do if you ever get targeted. So, let's jump right in.
So let me ask you something straight up. Could you be a scammer's next target? It's a tough question, I know, but the thing is, these schemes are getting so clever, so sophisticated, that pretty much anyone is on their radar. Our goal today is to give you the tools to make sure that target isn't you.
So let's get on the same page about what we're actually fighting here. At its core, a financial scam is just a trick, a fraudulent scheme designed to get a hold of your money or your personal info. And these aren't happening in some dark corner of the internet anymore. Nope, they're popping up in our email, in our texts, and all over our social media, often disguised to look like they're from brands and companies we actually know and trust.
To really fight back, you have to know their playbook, right? So in this first part, we're going to demystify the enemy. We'll look at the most common tactics scammers use to fool us, because honestly, knowledge is your first and your best line of defense.
Okay, this right here is the absolute heart of their strategy. Scammers don't just hack our computers, they hack our emotions. They create this false sense of urgency. They play on our fear, our hope, even our kindness and generosity, all to get us to act before we have a chance to think.
Let's start with a big one: fear. The extortion scam is a classic example. This is where someone tries to get money from you by threatening you. They might pretend to be from the government or claim you're in some kind of deep trouble. The entire goal is to make you so scared, so panicked, that you just do whatever they say without questioning it.
And this is a red flag you need to burn into your memory. If you get a call from someone who says they're a government agent and they start threatening you, or they demand you pay them immediately with a prepaid credit card or a wire transfer, it's a scam. 100% of the time. Real agencies just do not operate that way. Period.
But scammers don't just rely on fear. Take the grandparent scam. It's this nasty mix of fear and love, where someone calls pretending to be a grandchild who's in trouble and needs money wired right now. And on the flip side, you've got charity scams. They prey on our generosity, making up fake causes just to steal donations. See, they're just different flavors of the exact same emotional manipulation.
And believe me, the list just keeps going. You've got prize scams where they tell you you've won a fortune, but, you just have to pay a little fee first. Or investment scams, promising returns that are just way too good to be true. And then there are service scams where they call you up, create a fake problem like a virus on your computer, just so you'll give them remote access.
Okay, so we know what the threats look like. Now let's talk about prevention. It's time to build your proactive shield. This whole section is about the simple, but really powerful habits you can start using today to make yourself a much, much harder target. A lot of this is just fundamental digital safety. Guard your personal information, your full name, your address, all that stuff. Go into your social media apps and actually use the privacy settings to control who sees what you post. And just think before you click. Be skeptical of suspicious links or attachments from people you don't know. And hey, even your physical mail counts. Shredding documents with sensitive info is still a fantastic defense.
All right, let's talk passwords. The difference between a weak one and a strong one is like night and day. A simple password like password123 is basically leaving your front door wide open. But a strong one, with a mix of uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and symbols, is like upgrading to a bank vault door. It's one of the single best security upgrades you can make. And here is the golden rule, the non-negotiable one. Never reuse passwords. Seriously, just think about it. If a scammer gets a hold of one password and you use it everywhere, you've just handed them the master key to your entire digital life. Using a unique password for every account means that if one gets breached, the damage stops there.
And for your really important accounts, I'm talking email, banking, the big ones, you need to add another layer of security. It's called two-factor authentication, or 2FA. All it does is require a second code, usually from your phone, to log in. This is a total game changer because it means that even if a scammer steals your password, they still can't get in.
So now we have to talk about the worst-case scenario. If a scammer actually gets through, it feels awful. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, but panicking is the last thing you want to do. So this final section is your action plan, a calm, clear, step-by-step guide to taking back control.
The second you realize what's happened, here's what you do. Step 1, cut off all communication. Block them. Don't reply. Step 2, Immediately call your bank and your credit card companies. Tell them what happened. Step 3. Contact the major credit bureaus and ask them to place a fraud alert on your file. This makes it way harder for anyone to open new credit in your name. And finally, step 4. Write down everything you remember and report the crime to your local police.
Okay, this slide is really important. I'd seriously recommend pausing and taking a screenshot of this. You need to know who to call. Your National Anti-Fraud Center is where you officially report the crime, which helps the authorities track these guys down. The credit bureaus like Equifax or TransUnion are who you call to get that fraud alert placed. And of course, your bank is your first call to try and stop payments and lock everything down. Having this info ready before you need it can make a huge difference.
As we start to wrap this up, I want to leave you with one simple, powerful rule to live by. Here it is. If you did not initiate the contact, you do not know who you are communicating with. If a call, text, or email comes out of the blue, your default setting has to be caution, because you just don't know for sure who's on the other end of the line.
So, my final question to you is this. What is one security habit you'll start today? Just one thing. Are you going to go strengthen a password? Finally turn on two-factor authentication? Maybe it's just shred that pile of old mail. Taking what you've learned and turning it into action, even one small action, is how you really win. Thanks for joining me.